over the years, the community of Millcreek has seen many changes since its early pioneer days.
In today's Belonging in Utah, we're following the journey of what happened to the farmland once owned by some of Utah's black pioneers. Jamie McGriff with the story.
This was a question that came up while learning more about Millcreek's pioneer past. The historian that you'll hear from paints a better picture of what happened and shares some information that may surprise you.
One particular aspect surrounds the world of farming.
In the last few weeks, we've seen how Samuel and Amanda Chambers, black pioneer farmers from Mississippi, played a role in using their agricultural skills to help grow Utah's community of Millcreek.
The Chambers, the property they bought was on Imperial Street, which is 1700 East and about 2900 South. That was their property.
Their success during the late 1800s and early 1900s sealed their legacy in Utah's history.
I think even before he died, he'd sold some of his property to one of the men who was developing.
Tonya Reiter is a local historian and contributor for the Century of Black Mormons database. She's explored the history of Utah's African-American pioneer farmers and their descendants. What were some of the produce that were vibrant here or that flourished here in Millcreek? Because certain grounds are good for certain types of produce. So what was really good here in Millcreek?
Well, something that's kind of disappeared out of the world now, although you can still find them, and that is native currants. So black currants were really a popular thing then. I think people made jams and jellies.
A younger generation may not be familiar with what currants are.
No.
What are currants?
Well, they're little tiny sour berries that grow on bushes. And they're red currants, they're black currants, and it was black currants that were really popular out here.
Even today, there are subtle reminders of the once thriving farmlands of Millcreek.
If you go through Millcreek, you'll notice a lot of the lots are really big, and you'll see little vestiges of sometimes orchards, small orchards people still keep.
Some black pioneer descendants still live on what's left of their family's farmland.
Ned LeGrone's son, Henry, stayed in Millcreek and farmed for, I think, 50 years.
To refresh your memory, Ned LeGrone is the brother of Amanda Chambers. He and his wife, Susan Reed, came to Utah with Samuel and Amanda Chambers and eventually settled in Millcreek.
His granddaughter, Joyce, who you met, she still lives on a little piece of the property. But eventually, a lot of the land out in Millcreek generally was sold for subdividing.
In a future Belonging in Utah, we'll hear more of what Samuel Chambers did and his treatment by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during the pioneer days and the unusual role that he held within the early church. Jamie McGriff, KUTV 2 News.